We are live. We're in beautiful Rensselaer. Over here, we have the Amtrak station behind us. But very important that we discuss this topic that has been on my mind. As you guys know, maybe some of you, now we're talking on the internet. So this audience is beyond my immediate community. And I hope you find this helpful and that you are watching this video for a reason. And I hope you get some value out of it. But for me, I wanted to have an impact on this city because Albany, New York, which is the capital of New York, is often seen as a subset of the major cities that are around. So we're 3 hours away from New York City, 3 hours away from Boston. And I've been living here for about 9 years now. And when people ask or are asked, what's the best thing about Albany? You get the answer that it's close to the city, New York City, and Boston. And never talk about the characteristics of the city. And there's nicknames such as Smallbany, which if you just drive around a lot, you see the same people. And the people that are making noise are oftentimes, quote unquote, famous. They're like locally famous, right? But the issue that I have as we've grown this business, Son of Egg. This is our business, Son of Egg, which I'm not even here to promote that. But as we've grown to our second location, there's a lot of noise now that people talk about my character, which is most likely all false. And I just need to protect my name. And also, I think to have a bigger impact on this community, I need to be able to be part of a community that have motivated individuals and people that are doing stuff. You know, the people that are doing stuff should be amplified. The people that are going out there, serving their purpose, bringing value to the community, they need to be amplified. And this is my attempt to build that community. Maybe that community exists, but I personally haven't found them. A lot of meetup groups around are very sporadic, and COVID pretty much wiped them out. And I haven't used Meetup in a while. Reached out to some of them. They either don't reply or they're also seeking a community. So this is my attempt to educate the youth, because the youth is where the power is. And the ages from probably 15 to 25, 30 years old and more. It doesn't matter really the age, but I think there's a huge amount of influence that you are being influenced when you are around that age, and having a positive impact, I think, is huge. And I've personally had that from my mentors. Rick, he was a real estate developer, sadly passed away, but he taught me about entrepreneurship. I learned a lot from Andrew Walzer, who was also an investor in Tesla, which he said a great thing. Like, there's no real investors, there's speculators. You can speculate whether something is going to be bigger or not as big in the future. Sadly, he's passed away too. So I feel like this is my moment. Everybody has their moment, and this is my moment to share what I've learned throughout the ages and to document this process. Documented it a lot since I was 19, built many businesses since I was 19, trying many different things. This restaurant, Son of Egg, has stuck around now. Not even, we haven't even hit 5 years. So we're very, pretty much still in the risky stages. But the connections I was able to make and the brand awareness and recognition that Son of Egg has in this community, I think has propelled me to a position where I think I can speak on these topics. So we're 5 minutes in and we haven't even got to any of it. So let's get right into it. I did a speech for the Entrepreneur Club at Hudson Valley Community College, and I'm just going to repeat it. This is a way for me to transcript what I say into also a book that I'm working on. Show the process. I'll show every single process. I've always showed all the process, but I haven't shown much of it in the last 3 years when I built Son of Egg, and I do regret that a little bit, but it is what it is, and we can only control this present moment and moving forward. So this is my attempt at this, and I'm going to be doing this hopefully consistently so that people can be present with me while I'm live. So live questions. We did some podcastings, but that'll still come. But this is on my personal channel, and let's see where it takes us. But if you're a motivated individual looking for help, looking for a community, it's very hard to get. When I was starting off, nobody gave me a chance. And I would still say nobody. I guess they did. But the funny thing is, the first mentor that I mentioned, Rick Wilson, he came to the investment club when I was a student at Hudson Valley. And he was asking for someone to help him. Just he saw that this online space was growing and that he needed to be in it and just have a helper, a young helper. And he asked our investment club of probably 30 people, and a couple of people said they were interested, but then when he gave the contact info to reach out, nobody did. And that's the world we live in. This world is very opposite of what it seems. To elaborate on that, that means this is my personal experience, and take everything as a grain of salt. But from my experience and the skills that I have acquired and just from my observations, there are very few people that will make things happen. A lot of times people just wait thinking that something will just happen in the future, but it never does. There's 3 types of people: ones that make it happen, ones that watch things happen, and the third that don't know what happens. They don't even know what's going on. So you watching this video, even to this minute mark, I hope you're wanting to learn more, do more, and find the right people in the process. And I'm very willing to help out those that want to be helped and no longer have the time and resources to help those that don't want to be helped. And oftentimes it's hard to see the difference. So that's why there's prices to things. And if there is no price, it most likely isn't valued. Look at the education system. Most of the times it's a joke. This free education system that we have, that we go to school, gets treated like a joke because it's free. But that's why when you go to higher education as college and stuff, it still gets taken as a joke by many because either their parents are paying for it or something else. But you don't take it seriously unless there's a price for it. Such as, even look at concerts. A free concert, even with a big artist, if it was free, you might forget about it. One, that you had access to this concert, or two, you just it's easy to put aside because you didn't pay for it. But it would never happen if you paid for it. If you paid for something, you're most likely going to be there. Not most likely, you, you will be there on time, on the date, on your calendars. Okay, we're 10 minutes in, didn't get to this. So the beginning entrepreneurship, there's let's write this down. I'll show you. It might come out mirrored if I show you on this notepad. So it's 3 words: to be, do, and have. Remember these words. It does come out mirrored, but be, do, and have. So we look at entrepreneurship, and most of the times when you begin, you think that you want these things that a person that started a business has, such as the fancy cars, fancy clothes, fancy houses, etc. You want your fancy toys. But that's the last stage, right? The first stage is be, second stage is do, and third stage is have. So we're oftentimes in the illusion of having these things. You get into entrepreneurship, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start a business because you think doing those things will get you these things. And this is not talked about at all. And this is also from Myron Golden. Check out his YouTube channel, of Men of God. Very, very insightful, full of wisdom. So go check him out. I listen to him pretty much on a regular basis. But we look at the to have. This is the third stage, right? And just like any process, any steps, you got to take steps to get to your destination. So the destination is what oftentimes get people into entrepreneurship, which is good, right? You want reasons why to get there. But working backwards, they think having these fancy cars, fancy houses, you got to do certain things. So oftentimes we see these ads, right? We see the ads like Amazon FBA. You gotta make this business to, live a financial free life. And they focus on the to do, but that's not what we're going to focus on. To change the city, which I think is going to be the title of this book that I'm writing off of these transcripts, is to be. Really begins with that. We're not going to talk about business. We're going to talk about development, because I see a open space where, I could just be like, hey, you need to become the person to be able to do these things. But it's so easy to ask the question, where, how do I become these things? And we're going to go through that. That's what this book is going to discuss. It's going to be free to you because I'm doing these videos and they're all going to be posted. If you take the time, you're going to learn. But it can definitely be concise when you read it, because it might take a lot of time to go through these. So going back, we see the to do. People think that just having activity and just doing certain things that people are doing will get you to have the things that you desire. And it's very important to understand that the more money you make, the more desires you're going to have. Okay. Very important, but that's for another stage. So you have to learn how to control your finances. You have to be a disciplined person with your finances to achieve these things, because the more money you make, the more opportunities you have to spend your money and not invest and use it carefully to grow it to a stage where you are free from the rat race or whatever we call it. Okay. So so the more activities you do, the more work you do is not going to get you there. It's an illusion. People talk about that you just need to do this, need to do that. And you could do all those things. But if you don't have this first stage where you're learning to become that person, being that person that's able and capable of taking the actions, the right actions, to be able to have the byproducts of these actions, you'll never achieve it. And this is what the value proposition comes with this. Okay? Don't worry about the money. Focus on the value and problem solving that you're doing for your community and your customers. And the money will come. But there's so much focus on this world, on the money. That's why we see a corrupt system. We see corruption from the law, corruption even in healthcare, corruption everywhere, because people are so focused on the money. But it's so against our natural instincts, but we're not going to focus on the money. You're going to focus on the value that you're going to bring to your community, to your family, and everything. So the book title is actually a hook. You're not actually changing the city. You're changing yourself. By changing yourself, you're going to be able to change your family, and then you're going to be able to change your friends, and then you're going to change your community. And in that sense, by changing your community, you're going to change your city. And it really relies on you as an individual to becoming the person that's able to change the city. So that's what we're focusing on, the be. And again, that's to be, to do, and to have. And there's no one answer. Everybody has their skill sets. Everybody has different knowledge. Everybody has different experiences. So don't doubt yourself. That's another thing. The second thing we're going to talk about is a lesson learned, also from Myron, about the 4 levels of value. But we're going to stick it there. And if anybody has any questions, write them in the comments below. But this process is going to kind of explain the personal development side of things so that you can become the person to do the things such as creating a business, to be able to have the things that you desire, whether that's time freedom, whether that's wealth, whether that's love, whether that's friends. You got to become the person that attracts these things that you desire. It's very important. And I just thank you for listening. If you went all the way to this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll continue this. Thank you.